Secretary Wetzel says there is angst everywhere when it comes to this, and that includes inside Pennsylvania's prisons. He says they are paying particular attention to the southeastern part of the state where we are, because that is where there are more cases in the community. And I also spoke with a doctor today who points out that when it comes to what happens inside and outside prisons, it is all connected.
At this prison in Collegeville, 2 inmates have tested positive for coronavirus. Pennsylvania's Department of Corrections announcing the latest today, with Secretary John Wetzel telling reporters on a call NBC10 participated in that the diagnoses at SCI-Phoenix tipped off the system-wide quarantine. That means limited movement for inmates. When they do leave their cells, they're in smaller groups. Inside SCI-Phoenix specifically, Secretary Wetzel says there is now enhanced screening, and they're taking temperatures in units with connection to the positive tests. There is also more specific protective equipment for staff, like N95 masks. System-wide, 4 staff members have tested positive for the virus, though their locations have not been announced.
There are people that come in and out of the prison on a daily basis. Those are the security officers, the healthcare providers, the administrators, and so there is always that risk of infectious spread coming in and out of an infectious environment and out into the community.
Dr. Calvin Johnson is former Secretary of Health for Pennsylvania. In addition to staff, he points out that prisoners who are released from jails and prisons may be reincarcerated, and says there's a connection between what happens inside and outside when it comes to health care issues.
But what happens outside in the community can clearly be reflected inside the prisons and jails, and what happens inside prisons and jails can be reflected outside in the community. And so they're not too isolated and separated environments.
Pennsylvania's Secretary for the Department of Corrections also saying today they are looking to reduce the number of inmates, and everything is on the table.
And when it comes to doing that, reducing the number of inmates, the secretary says one of the challenges there is that the parole board is operating with only 6 members right now. There are supposed to be 9, but there are 3 vacancies. And without those extra people, Jim, that really slows things down.
So what do we know, Lauren, about who they're considering even letting out?
Well, there are several categories he went through today, and they include people who are in the state prisons, maybe for parole violations, but do not have new charges attached to them. Also, people who have served their minimum sentences but have not had a hearing yet. But once again, that brings it back to having a chance to have that case looked at by the parole board, and they need those extra people to do that. Jim?